like a vacuum and your feet smell like Doritos and pee. I never knew her feet smelled so bad at my cousin Carmen's, but then again, I wasn't that close. I wonder if Trey smelled them. Maybe it was because we've been in the car for 2 days and hadn't had a shower and her feet were extra sweaty. Who knows? I was just glad she was finally driving. She said she used to drive a scooter with her brothers in the Dominican Republic, so I thought she knew how to drive. But no, she wasn't a great driver, but good enough to let me get some rest and wake my feet up. I laughed to myself. What's so funny? She asked in her thick accent. Nothing, Cholita, I said. We kept driving and all I could think about is getting my JJ. I also knew I was going to get it one day, but not this soon. I told Dee that I was going to go out of town for a couple weeks. Naomi told me that after a couple days we'd be able to walk good enough. I brought the money Dee gave me to purchase a couple of Greyhound tickets to get us back to Atlanta. Naomi said Trey had given her money for us to stay in a hotel room so we could rest up before our Greyhound ride home. I remember one time I heard this special girl in Santa Monica tell me and other special girls that we were going to a psychiatrist so she could get her the JJ. I asked her why. She said they just don't give anyone the JJs. You had to be a real woman and the doctors would pick who they felt who was real or not. How can a doctor tell me if I'm a woman or not? I said. I've always been a woman. I let Naomi drive for another hour. Then we pulled over because both our pagers were going off with the same number. We pulled into a gas station parking lot to use the payphones. You can call them Angel, she said. I'm going to close my eyes for a minute. I couldn't believe this bee was tired when I'd done all the driving while she slept. I pulled a calling card out of my pocket and called the number. What's happening? The voice said like a cholo. Hi, I said. Is someone page Angel? See, it's Popeye, he said. Hi, Popeye. I said, we haven't met, Pappy, but Naomi told me nothing but good things about you. Really, he said. Well, don't believe her, Popeye said, laughing. How far are you away? I told him we made it to Texas, so all we had to do was make it to him, to Del Rio. Angel, you're almost here, he said. About 5 to 7 more hours, I would say. Call me to get to the gas station, to Del Rio, the gas station, the Shell gas station. There's only one. I said okay and goodbye and told Naomi to take a pee or because we were about to hit the road and get to the Del Rio as fast as we could. We both used the bathroom and bought some vittles. Then I jumped back in the driver's side and we were back on the freeway. Now, didn't you say Popeye was right? Was white? I asked Naomi. See, she said. Well, he sounds like a Chicano. I said. I told her he was a gringo. She said she thinks he's Mexicano. He's not, muchacha. He's a güera. Or he's a güero. We drove and drove. It was dark by the time we pulled into the gas station in Del Rio. Popeye had been paging for the last hour of our trip, but I wasn't going to stop until we got there. The closer we got there, the more I was anxious and excited to get my JJ and back home with Gustavo and Hector. They're my family and I love them so much that when I get my big house, they can live with my husband and my kids and me. And I thought to myself, I called Popeye's number, but there was no answer. I hung up the phone when I saw a lowrider mini truck pull up with a white boy that looked like Phil Donahue driving. Hola, muchachos, he said. Hi, are you Popeye? Naomi screamed. Yes, that's Popeye. He told us to follow him. We drove a couple blocks to a big, gorgeous house. It looked orange or pink in the dark, but I really couldn't tell. He opened the garage door and waved for me to go around him. So I did and pulled into his garage. He closed the garage door while we were still in the car. I looked at Naomi and said, I wish I had my gun, she said. Don't worry, Miss Angel, I have mine. That's my kind of girl. I said as we high-fived each other, we sat in the car until Popeye came out from the house and waited for us to get out of the car. We walked in and it was really nice. It kind of looked like a bigger version of Chad's apartment. I looked around, I tried to figure out what try to figure out if he was moving in or moving out because there was brown boxes with tape on them everywhere. What can I get to you? What can I get you ladies to drink? I asked. We didn't say anything. Ladies, I'm kind of tired, so why don't we have some wine? And tomorrow my grandma will take you two lovely ladies to Tijuana so you can be complete. He walked out of the room and right back with a plate of cocaine. A little extra for you two driving that long way, he said. I'll have some, Naomi said. I just stood there getting irritated with every second that went by. Look, Bobby, can we get our money? I asked. Of course you can, Pop, I said. I will be back. He left the room again, and I watched Naomi do line after line after line as if she was in a race with herself. After 5 minutes later, he came back with 2 paper bags and put one in front of both of us. I quickly opened the bag and started counting. I quickly glanced at Naomi. Her face was still in the plate. This is only 1,000, I said out loud. Then I opened Naomi's bag. Aren't you going to count it? I asked, as she kept snorting. There's $1,000 in that one too, Popeye said. So where's the rest? I asked. The doctor's been paid already, Popeye said. All you have to do is bring him the 1,000 and we'll be ready to snip, cut, and have a beautiful JJ. He started snorting cocaine. Why did you pay him already? I said, because he's busy, he said, and my friend told me that you have to leave a deposit. Well, what if we hadn't made it there? Then what? I asked. What do you mean, Popeye asked. I mean, you gave the doctor our money, but how would you get it back if you never showed up with the stuff? I was so irritated. In this life, you have to trust certain people, he answered, and treat people good. Treat people good, the ones whom you trust. I was confused and trying to figure out what he meant. Look, he said, you guys came through with the goodies, and now I'm coming through for you. You have to trust me because I trusted you. I sat down and thought about what he said, and I figured he was right because he could have easily sold that heroin in Atlanta. I felt a little better, so I asked if I could have a glass of wine. You certainly may, mi amor, he asked. I drank the glass of wine and watched Papa and Naomi make out in the kitchen. I was so grossed out. I knew she was pretty, but that pretty bee hadn't even brushed her teeth. It felt nasty, asked Popeye. If I could take a shower, he showed me to the bathroom and gave me towels. I closed the door and took off my clothes. Then I sat on the toilet so I could finally take a good leap in the restroom.